Welcome to season 2 of The Ugly Side of Entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Andreas Cook. Now, full disclaimer, some of these interviews were conducted over a year ago, so some of the information might be dated as far as events. But nonetheless, the stories and the principles and theories of how entrepreneurship journey goes for these individuals are still the same. If you have not, tune into the first season or go back and watch the first season on the playlist on the YouTube channel. And if you have anybody who will be interested in telling their story, feel free to direct them to bank.radioshow@gmail.com. I must be doing something right. Done that for people. Not even in the state, out of state or whatever.
A client can break something. A client can make a mistake and knock over your shears and.
All right, y'all, we're here for another episode of Bank That Radio Show with The Ugly Side of Entrepreneurship Season 2. And as you've been seeing, I've been going through a lot of different places and intentionally meeting new people, bringing y'all new stories and showing you what it took for them to get to the level of success that they are, but also the things, you know what I'm saying, that happens leading up to that. I don't think we get to talk about that a lot, so that's where we're going to dive in today. I have to my left, to y'all's right, Miss Ashley Lawson, who is the proprietor, CEO, founder of Resourceful Solutions.
Yes.
Okay, I was making sure I was going to get that right. Resourceful Solutions, which I think in essence is more of a taxes, accounting services, financial information.
Yes.
You do payroll as well?
I do. I offer full service accounting. And
okay, so full service accounting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I help people start their businesses regardless of what industry it is. The solutions part is I really want to be a solution for you. I want to be resourceful. So even if I don't know the information, I'll let you know, hey, give me a couple of days, I'll get back with you.
Okay, so you're just full scale then.
Yes.
The
thing is,
starting and helping, because, and then I don't mean to cut you off, but I know that, dealing with the accounting aspect of it, dealing with the bookkeeping side of business, I don't even think that's talked about enough. The back end administration stuff that we have to do as business owners in order to make proper decisions, because we're looking at the information, we're looking at the numbers, and our decisions need to be data driven.
Yes, they do. And you see a difference when you have a bookkeeper involved in your business, because on the day-to-day, we just look at our bank account and say, hey, I got this much money I could spend or I could pay for that. But can you really pay for that? Yeah. Do you really think about your bills? Do you really think about what's coming up?
Talking about cash flow.
Exactly.
Whether it's positive or negative.
Exactly.
And being in the green, cash flow positive, or cash flow negative, which is the red. And that's what we don't want, because too many red months in a row, you out of business.
Exactly.
So let's dive into, what started this, because I was looking at, you've been in the industry and employed, I guess, within your own business for at least, 10 years now?
Actually 7.
7, okay.
But I've been in multiple industries, from Geico, food service is actually where I started out at, and I got 15 years experience with that.
Okay.
In this industry for 7, and retail, I've done that. I've worked for nonprofits, and I'm currently still working for one as well.
A wealth of information and knowledge.
Yes.
When did you decide to really apply that and want to build something of yourself?
When I was working at Geico, my oldest son had a lot of behavior issues to the point I was called almost every day, every week, so that I lost a lot of time, and eventually they had to let me go. So at that point, being that he had a couple of disabilities, I was like, okay, I need to find something where I can support my children, be a mom, but still make an income, because, I got to do something. So to be honest, my children is what pushed me to start my own business. And I was in college working on my associate's degree at the time as well.
Where did you go to school at?
I went to Independence University and completed my associate's degree in business management and accounting.
Okay.
I started, so when that happened, it was actually tax season. So I started working for, who was my first tax company? I want to say, I think it was 360. They got me trained and everything, finished that. Then I went on to Jackson Hewitt.
I did an interview with him.
You did?
The founder.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah. I haven't released it yet, but it's coming.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, it's a side note or whatever, but first of all, he sent me his book. He sent me 3 copies of his book. I complete, and we were talking about how he started the business and how he had to compete with H&R Block and all that.
Yes.
So it was a fantastic interview. I loved it. And then, of course, he went on and sold it and all that stuff. And now he's working with, Loyalty Brands, which is more than just taxes. He's dived into other industries as well. But to hear, like, what I'm saying, the franchising model, and that he only started, I think, with 4 or 6 locations at a time and then built it up from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is amazing. I started out with them, and then being and learning stuff and seeing stuff that it's like when you're working for jobs, you realize when people try to keep you in one place. I've always been that person. Okay, if I got into this point, what's going to take me to get to the next level? Yeah. So that's when I did the research and got credentials with the IRS to start my own tax company. Okay. So now I'm their competitor. I'm still small, but
exactly. But I get it. And so, was that a natural thing for you to jump out there? Because I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2013, December 2013. I've been an entrepreneur since 2005. So a lot of years experience and stuff. But I do know that when you first take that plunge to jump out there, and you know that what you're doing needs to bring in revenue so you can pay your bills and stuff, it can be a little scary of a process and fear. So did you have that initially doing that, and did you have a support system?
I did. Was very scared. I guess for me, it was one of those things like I've always worked 2 or 3 jobs. Okay. So it was like, okay, I don't want to take away time from my kids anymore. So if I start my own business, I control my own hours. I control my revenue. I control everything. Well, I don't have to be in that position again. It's very scary, and I would say starting out, I did have very minimum support because everybody, even your closest friends and family, don't believe in you. That's to be honest, and they will never be your first customers. Your first customer will always be a stranger that see potential in you, opposed to people that's known you all your life.
Hey everybody, it's Andreas Banked Out Radio Show, and I have some deals for y'all. There are some companies that I've been going, researching, looking at the different products and services that I want to turn y'all on to. So go to my deals page, check them out. Any one of them that you want to interact with, want to do some business with, you'll get a promo discount as well when you try their product. Banked Out, BANKEDOUTT. Slide over to that page, check out what I have to offer, and let me know.
Despite what you are going through, despite what you accomplish, it was a stranger. And who you are as a person goes a lot further in life. And I tell people, even new clients, I spent thousands of dollars in marketing. And I did it myself because I didn't know. I didn't have a professional like you to call and be like, hey, what's the direction to go? I didn't know. Yeah. And I didn't see any return on that. Yeah. My business grew through word of mouth.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's like, okay, so your story is, going out there, and this is what I've gathered so far, learning everything as you go. And like, it's like, driving a car and building it at the same time, or flying a plane and building it as you're flying it. So at one point did, things started to like, hit a new stratosphere for you? Was it like, year 1, year 2, year 3?
I would say year 3, I've seen most of my hard work kind of pay off. Okay. I think most of us lowball ourselves.
We do.
Because we don't believe, okay, I'll start this business, but can I really be to that next level? Can I really be the next H&R Block? Can I really be, the next Blockbuster? And then a lot of times we give up on ourselves too quickly, and we be like, okay, let me purchase a franchise. And I can say that because I was actually looking into buying a Liberty Tax franchise instead of just pushing my own company. Yeah, I want to give up. But I did the interview. They never even called me back. So I was like, okay, well, let me stick with what I got. You know, and just keep pushing and praying. And that's the biggest thing. I didn't pray enough for myself. I didn't pray enough for my business. And I just try to make sure I treat people right. Whatever I do, if there's a mix-up, disagreement, I make it right. Regardless who wrong or right. My biggest thing is I want my people to be happy because one bad review gonna tell 10, 20 other folks, and that will destroy me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I have these. I'm telling you, I could do a lot of different stuff with you. I'm just sitting there thinking in my head. But I have these different like platforms that I'm doing things with, right? And well, not platform, but different. Producing 6 different shows right now, currently, right? And another show I'm producing is called Honest Conversations. And in that we have honest conversations. And I say all the time, and I post on social media that, you know, it's okay for people to post things on social media about a business, but make sure that, you know, you're doing it from the standpoint of, you know, you're going through the processes and all that. Because like you said, one bad review to a small business can destroy that business, and opportunity loss is a real financial thing. Just like how when I've seen businesses post hours but not be there at those hours.
Right.
And I walked right past them, and I'm like, I was going to shop and put some bread in their, you know what I'm saying, business and get whatever I'm paying for. But you're not there, so I have to go and find someone else.
Right.
I think that we think about things like that. And I want people to realize, like, you know what I'm saying, the power in the consumer is very high, especially when it comes to small businesses. So to be mindful of what you post, because there's nothing wrong with expressing how you interacted with a business.
Right.
But make sure you're not holding them to the highest standard possible if they don't have the highest resources possible, right?
That's true.
You can't sit there and go in and be like, well, you know, and think that they're going to be like an H&R Block, because you don't have all the resources that H&R Block has. And I think, you know, that's what I've been battling with here recently, in trying to get people to understand small businesses are small for a reason. They have limited resources, and they can't provide all the convenience and comfortability that a big box retailer can, or a big chain, or whatever the case may be, can. Now they can, if you keep supporting them, they can get to the level.
Right.
But we can't go in with the same mindset. Now, basic things like, you know, customer service you can control regardless of resources. Deliverance of, you know what I'm saying, the service you can control, all that. But there's other factors that you can't control because you don't necessarily have the resources or the manpower to be able to handle those things.
Right. Right.
So what were like some of your initial challenges then? Because the longer you stay in business, the more challenges you have, right?
Of course.
So what are your challenges that you're hitting at year 3, 4, you know, and what do you have to go through to get to those other levels? Because I'm like, it's multi-leveled.
Yes, the biggest challenge for me was that I would say marketing was my number one challenge. Because it's so much you have to learn. That's really a whole nother set of education.
It is. I got a whole
Skills
degree in
that you
it.
have to learn. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, I ain't have nobody. I did.
I get it though.
So it took a lot, because with social media, especially to what it is today, you have to have the right word, the right look. Everything has to catch the eye. And if you don't know, what the right thing is, you will mess yourself up. And then it comes to the time where I'm posting multiple ads or different types of content to see what's going to hit. And you know what? I'm going to share this with you. I said, y'all, I done came up with this strategy. I got to finesse social media. They said, what you mean? I said, if I post my business ad, I ain't going to get that many hits on my personal page. But if I post a picture of me, nothing business related, or my family, I get all kind of likes and stuff, and then everything else just start flowing through. I was like, that don't make no sense.
Well, I'll tell you why it does make sense though, right? So we touched this a little bit like off camera, but marketing has changed, and what marketing is the connection, right? You know, taking your message, and this is me paraphrasing it to the simplest thing. It's way more complex than what I'm saying, but it's basically having that connection, hitting the right consumer at the right time, you know, through the right form and medium. and it's that connection. And it's not the same as if you build it, they will come type mentality anymore. That's gone out the window. That's been dead for 30-something years.
Yes.
Plus more. So now with small businesses, it's about how can I relate to this person? And by relating to this person, I'm going to support. And the way I'm supporting is by going to that person's business. So now it's a transference of connection. And if you can connect with your audience, they'll support.
Yeah.
Like, people like who they like.
Yeah.
And people will support who they support based off of who they like.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's how that is. And if you can do that in a successful manner, then you get to build. And when you get to a certain threshold, you can pull back away. You don't have to do it anymore, because now you're at the level of where you're looking at like nationwide campaigns and stuff like that and appealing to them. But you've gotten all that data from all those other people before that, we do fit inside of certain boxes or whatever. Not saying that we fit in all the boxes together, but there's certain things that we do as consumers that other consumers like us do the same things.
Right.
So that's when the whole targeting of the marketing aspect comes in, and being able to drill in and find those homogeneous groups of people from a marketing standpoint, because we're all fitting the same demographics.
Right.
So yeah.
You're so right.
That's why I've been trying to get people to understand, and like you said, you spend thousands of dollars or whatever, which is fine, spending thousands of dollars, but spend them in the right way.
Exactly.
And I've been working with a few clients now where they're getting those results and they're loving it.
Yes.
Now it took like 4 or 5 months for them to understand the process.
Yes.
And I tell them, like, look, when I work with people from a marketing standpoint, especially small businesses, especially mine is even more niched. I love working with our community because we don't necessarily think about marketing when we start a business. And we're already behind the wheel of the industry, behind the 8 ball. So in order for us to really compete at that level to where you're taking a, let's say, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 job that you had, and now you're having to replace that. But you got to think about how many clients is that, because of what price point are they paying you?
Exactly.
So even if, let's just
and
say,
you dead on it, because for years I'm still working a W-2 job because it's hard.
It is.
You still have to support the business. You have to support your personal. And with the tax industry, a lot of people take the fees out the refund. Well, guess what? I don't get paid, so you get paid. So in the meantime, I have to work even harder just to keep stuff afloat. But it's okay. I mean, it's part of life. It's something we have to do. And there are a lot of business owners that work W-2 jobs. That don't mean their business not successful. It's nothing less. It's just people don't understand the full grasp of
you have to
the
float
sacrifices.
Your business. Exactly. And I've seen it now because I'm working with a tax professional, and I see the back end because I'm there so much.
Yes.
And I get to see how, like you said, you're taking the fees out or whatever. So you're basically floating the business through other means to be able to stay there.
Yes.
To come by all these people come through, and you. And first of all, if y'all don't, I just want to say this: people, when y'all file taxes, the tax preparer does a lot of work on our back end that y'all not even seeing. And I'm actually going to put that information out there in a video format so y'all can see.
Right.
A return can take 4, 5, 6 hours, depending on how complicated it is, and they're trying to maximize your refund, and they're needing all this information from you. So individuals, y'all got to get y'all records right.
Yes.
Y'all got to make it easier so they can just go through that process, because let's say an average return
I'm going
takes
through that now because
4 hours.
a lot of I've had like 3 businesses come to me. They don't have a regular bookkeeping plan, and I always recommend it because I tell them, I said, look, if you have your bookkeeping plan for me throughout the year, you don't have to pay anything for taxes. That's a win-win. Because I have your records already organized. So the only thing you have to give me is like a W-2 or 1098 if you got, your additional documents. Because I have to take time to analyze your bank statements and see what's a write-off, what is what, explain this transaction. Because if you get an audit, I got to cover both of us. To make sure, we're both in compliance, we're both legit. I did do the due diligence to make sure that what you're telling me adds up.
So, and I'm sure you face this too, right? You sound very ethical with your business, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of non-ethical people in the tax preparing space. And that fuel tax credit that they were doing last year, that didn't even apply to them. It applied to what is it? Off-road vehicles.
Yes.
So farmers and tractor trailers, stuff like that, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many people now that are red flagged and are on the IRS system, and they don't even understand. You get on that thing, you're not coming off.
Yeah,
I'm saying
true.
for a good little minute. It might take you 10 years to get off that list. So you
And
might
it's
get
on the
audited every
prepares
year.
as well.
And then y'all get dinged for every piece of correspondence that's not in the file. It's like $50 fines and stuff for every single document that's missing. I'm like, man, that stuff can add up. So
Yes.
I'm sure you experience that and everything. So does that make the industry harder for you? Because other people will be like, well, we can get you back, $12,000, $15,000, $20,000, which is what you're not supposed to be getting back.
It does. And I actually had a couple calls even from fellow other tax companies because we're competitors, but we still have a relationship. And they asked me, it's like, how you doing this tax season? I said, probably the same way you doing. A lot of pop-up tax companies coming up. But people, they're always going to chase the dollar. Greed is always going to win. And I have seen so many tax ads from people showing themselves half naked just to get attention. I've seen people guaranteeing refunds. If you actually took a tax course or
you can't
actually
even guarantee a refund.
you cannot.
You cannot. You're not allowed to. That's false advertising.
Yes.
And then that's where you get into the marketing. Like I tell people, there's marketing laws too. There's federal regulations where you can only do certain things with marketing, and you can't false represent because you can be sued because you're pulling, the wool over the people's eyes and stuff like that, and presenting something that's not actually there. So you cannot guarantee a refund whatsoever.
Yes, and I tell people, not trying to speak negatively, but you have to be careful when you go into places like H&R Block, Freedom Tax, or Liberty. It's the reason why you see different people every season. They're hiring new, unexperienced preparers, and all they're teaching them is the current tax law for that year. They don't know how to write off a Schedule C or what you can write off. They don't know how to put your rental income on a different schedule versus, they don't know all of that because they're not seasoned, they're not educated, they just get the basic knowledge. So you have to be careful in everything that you do. And another thing we are bad at reading the documentation. I haven't personally experienced, but I tell people, they be like, my tax preparer charged me this, and then the bank did you read the contract? No, they just told me to sign. That's not okay. Because when it comes down to the IRS, you signed your paper on that line is saying that I read it, I agree to it, and that's it. And another thing I experienced last year, a lady came to me and she wanted an amendment done. I don't mind doing an amendment, but I looked at her tax preparation papers, and when I seen Free Tax USA, I already knew then. I said, okay. I said, the person that you went to, how long you been there? I've been going there for years. And I said, you pay up front? She said, yeah. I said, okay. So she said, why you ask me that? I said, you see this? Free Tax USA, it's like another TurboTax. I said, you see this? It says self-prepared.
That means you did it.
Her credentials are not on there.
Exactly. So when the IRS audits that and looks at it, they're going to come back to the actual individual. Yep, that's you. I'm like,
And she was like, she got a storefront and everything. I said, she storefront fooled you.
Sure did. I tell you. Like I'm telling you, it's like so much stuff is going on in the industry that is crazy, and it's hard for people to really cut through. And then like you said, amendments and all that. That's paper filing. You got to send those in. And
with the evidence of the change.
Exactly. And you can't get paid on the back end for amendment. You got to get paid up front for that. But then the person is mad or whatever because they have to fix a situation. But it's going into and I've seen and heard horror stories of people not even getting their returns, or they getting a return, they're getting 2 pages. No. A return is way more than 2 pages.
It is.
It has every worksheet on there, and it's documented of what that worksheet is and how it applies to your taxes. And I'm like, man, you think it's supposed to be 50 to 70, 80 pages, depending on how massive it is. I'm like, I think a General Electric one time filed a tax thing.
If they got 2 pages, all they gave them was the 1040.
Exactly. And I'm like, general election file tax ended up being like 10,000 pages or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you can just imagine, what I'm saying, that's a massive corporation.
Yes.
Even individuals, I'm like, it's a lot of work and a lot of due diligence. That's why you have to be very selective of who you use to prepare your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go with people who are experienced. I'm not saying that new people can't make a name for themselves, but
Right.
you just you can just tell. And like I've already heard with like other franchise corporations have been saying to people that you can't do this and you can't do that, which is a lie because they're just not trained, like you said. And you're talking about Schedule C. I'm like, they don't even know about the Schedule K. So I'm like,
Or the 1020s. They don't know about any of that. And another thing, actually, I consulted with a young lady this morning, because she asked me, she said, Ashley, you're a business loan broker and you do credit. I said, yeah. She said, why don't you post that? I said, because for one, to be honest, a lot of people that need those assistance do not have their business in full compliance.
Yes.
They don't have a business bank account.
Oh.
They'll have an LLC, but no actual operational license for the city and town that they stay in.
Yep.
They don't.
You're supposed to have that too.
Right.
When you get a commercial space, you're supposed to have it.
And a lot of people don't even put it on the taxes. I said, so I don't push it because a lot of people are not eligible for it.
Because they don't have proper documentation. They don't ever take much. When they go to the city of planning or whatever, and pay that fee or whatever, and then go down to the county clerk's office or whatever, pay that fee, and rest of your business, and pay it every year. And then when they come around and do the tax, the audit for the actual equipment and all that stuff, I hate that tax. Anyway, I'm sorry. So
mine's on the way. I ain't got it yet.
I'm telling you, like, I don't know if you've had a business or been in a business where you had to run multiple locations and multiple municipalities and had to pay all those fees and stuff at the beginning of the year from January to March. We just, or technically April, whatever. Yeah. But we don't like any of that stuff.
Right.
But it's a part of doing business, and I think that's stuff that people don't hear about. Those are the stories that people don't realize. There's a lot of back end to running a business. People see the front end stuff and see the success and the polished version of everything, which I don't understand everything that goes into it.
Yes.
So I know we've been, harping on a lot of the ugly side and things of that nature, but I do want you to let people know what have been some positives and, what have been some milestones you've been to accomplish.
My biggest milestone is seeing the difference that I make in people's lives. There are some people that are terrified of the IRS, or terrified of situations they're going through. So if I can help you and make your life easier, that makes me happy. Yeah. It's not just about let me get rich and be the next multimillionaire. I want to make an impact in somebody's life. And although this is finance, I do have a nonprofit I don't even have time to put my hands on because I'm not able to walk away from this yet. But my long-term goal is to Warner Robins don't have enough resources at all as far as transportation, as far as homeless shelters. I actually want to buy some land, and if I could build mini houses, I want to do that. I want to help the veterans that's out on the street. People are getting arrested for being homeless because they're panhandling. Yeah. Instead of us having a solution to help these people, they're being arrested. Yeah. That's a problem. Yeah. So even though it's just me, that's my long-term goal. I want to get back to this community. I want to help people grow. I want to network with other entities so we can make a change. Because the city could be a better place, but if they don't have the resources to help them, or we don't have second chance programs for people that's getting out of prison, if we can't help them get free education, or just get them back on good standing, get them back on their feet, then what are we doing?
No, I definitely agree with all that. We do need better systems in place from the municipality and the private sector working in conjunction with one another. But then, when you get into politics and all that stuff, whatever, I'm like, it starts to get murky and people have their own agendas and all that stuff. And I'm like, I hate all that red tape or whatever, because I've seen other countries outside the United States, and they have better healthcare systems, they have better educational systems, and we have the most money as far as GDP, gross domestic product, than any other country. And the only other country that even can hold a flicker to what we do is Japan. They have the second, and China's
Yes.
getting up there too. But we're 16 to 18 trillion. The next one is
Yes.
around 4 trillion. We're still 4 to 5 times bigger. But yet we have some of these sorriest systems here in the United States and in cities. So I definitely agree with that. And that should be pushed for that. And I'm glad that you know what I'm saying, that's another objective and something that burns passionately within you, that you want to go out and help. And I do want to do what I can and punch in the right direction or collaborate or whatever the case I can do to help with those. As far as all the different services that you offer within your business, just run through them real quick and what are, you know what I'm saying, the primary benefits to the people.
Primary benefits is definitely education and having the resources and making sure that you're in compliance on the federal and the state level. I don't play about that none whatsoever, because I can't be governing your company and then you're not following the law. I let companies know, hey, when you come here, we're going to do stuff by the book, because the thing is, you can go to any other tax company, any other accountant, but what you fail to realize, the responsibility is on the both of us. The IRS can knock on my door, hey, Ms. Lawson, I want to see your files. I want to see what's your notes that you're advising this client. I want to see how you've been managing this client. How are you, writing off their stuff? It's accountability on both parts, and a lot of people don't think about that, or they don't know that we can lose our credentials. I have to be fingerprinted by the federal. They could take, and once they take it away, you ain't gonna get it back. You're not gonna get it back. So that's not something I'm trying to lose, and I want to make sure that I do the best of my ability, and I also keep notes. Hey, I warned you about such and such. If you're not going to be in compliance, I have to release you as a client, because that's not a risk I'm willing to take, especially if we are so stubborn or just want to have stuff our own way. That's not going to work, because when you really need it, you're not going to have it. Like I said, when it comes to these banks, when you want business loans, when you want grants, they do their homework. They looking for a website. They're looking for your business registration. They want, and some, especially government grants, they want to see your financials from a CPA, any type of accounting firm. They check all of that.
They do.
So if you don't have all this stuff in line at first, what are you doing?
Exactly.
I'm helping you in more than one way to make sure you stay in compliance. So when you want these opportunities, and I know what they're looking for, you already got it.
Exactly, and you're not creating an additional roadblock that you have to, have to go through, because it's already hard to compete. It's already hard to go out here and put energy and resources and money into stuff just to try to get something, knowing that, there's a chance of you not getting that if you're bidding on jobs and things of that nature. So the bare minimum is the industry standard.
Yes. And I also share education. I cross network. If I got a construction client, I got somebody that needs work, hey, contact this person. I know this person, I work with them already. There you go.
Yeah.
So I cross network people. And even for myself, I go out there and introduce myself. Hey, how you doing? We may be doing the same thing, but maybe we can help each other. We just never know. So I just try to be as resourceful and impactful as I can.
That's what's up. I love it. I love the words that you choose too. Resourceful and impactful, because that tells me a lot about yourself as an individual and where you're going and where you sit compared to everybody else. But let everybody know, how can they reach out if they want to inquire, they need some knowledge, they want to use you for services, things of that nature, where they need to go to?
Well, good question. I got so much. You can look me up on Google, Ashley Lawson of Warner Robins. My company name is Resourceful Solutions. You may also see Resourceful Investments, which was my first business name. I'm also on Facebook as Ashley Lawson. I also have Resourceful Solutions on Facebook, as well as Instagram, and Ashley Lawson 7 at TikTok.
Okay, well, Ashley, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing, your story, because we need things like that out there, and people need to understand that, one, it takes a lot to get where you are. But if they're poured into if people pour into the correct ones, then you could be way more impactful and have the change that you wish to see within the community. So y'all make sure y'all go and y'all support. keep tuning in to the ugly side of entrepreneurship. If y'all have any businesses y'all want to highlight and then, send them my way so I can sit down with them and talk to the business owners, email me bank.radioshow@gmail.com and stay abreast with all the different social media handles, Bank Radio Show across the board.